Welcome to my workroom. Come on in. We're in Chico, California. It's about 100 miles north of Sacramento, and I'm wholesale only. Most of my designers are, some in this community, some in Paradise, some in Willows, and I have several that are actually down in Sacramento. I travel to Sacramento once a week. I provide the service of dropping off and picking up fabrics. And that way I get to charge a little bit more because it's a higher end, well, it's rural, it's urban instead of rural. And trims and more fancier treatments are done down in the bigger city than they are up here in Chico. Yeah, I'm a one-person workroom. I tried an employee and I just did not like that at all. I tried retail and I did not like that at all. I love it that it's my space here, that it's my time, that I can work on projects at my own pace and which projects I want to work on. I'm lucky in that for the last year it's been really, really full-time and busy. Okay, so I want to mention a few things about workflow. I found being a solo person, the most efficient way to have your work flow throughout your shop is to have it move in a circle. So one of the things I love about my shop is I have an outside entrance. So things don't have to go in through the house. So when you first enter, I call this my inbox. So there is, and it's actually a catch-all. So it's got all the fabrics coming in for different designers. I can bring wood in and it just fits right in here without having to turn corners. It's out of the way. It's also a catch-all for clutter. Lots of stuff. So when I cut, I bring things over to the table, my bolts to the table, and this bar right up here is my candling. So if I'm making draperies that need to be candled, I just unhook this and slide a roll. Come on, there you go. And it says S-hooks and a chain, but I can, the iron's in the way for right now, but I can drop it down and I can see through the light if there's any flaws. So I've hung my panels, or my cuts, so that the right sides are on the outside next to each other. So now when I take it over to the sewing machine, I put my salvages towards the wall. And when I get ready to sew, I bring the first one back. But now my two salvages are right, and my two cuts are right sides together. My sewing machines, I have 5 sewing machines, are set up in a specific order. My serger is the first one that I use, and it is set up so that I have a 12-inch shelf between the wall and the sewing machines, which gives me space to lay out my cuts. So I use my serger first, and then when I've finished serging, I slide the fabric forward to the blind hammer. Then I bring the drapes over to the table and do my tabling. And when I'm ready to pleat, I bring things back over to my walking foot, which is my absolute favorite machine and most used machine. And then this machine is my tacker. And I don't use it much, but when I make drapes, it's indispensable. I also have a home sewing machine that was given to me, and the only time I use that is if I have to make buttonholes. So behind this bar, I slide this over, and I have my swag board. Oh, let me mention my Workroom Valet. This is a wonderful piece of equipment, and it was so wonderful When Maffei had a sale on for free shipping, I bought a second one. And I have 2 now, and they are wonderful for mounting long treatments. I have different samples around the room. This one is a swag panel. The bottom is puddled, where it has a draw cord through it, so I can show the designers when they come in. So up here are some different samples of different kinds of pleats that I've done. The room used to be a garage, and we converted it when we moved into this house by putting a false wall in front of the garage door. And so these were original garage doors. And so I've got pillow forms. So this area over here is a bookshelf, and shelves on top is a home for all of my miscellaneous items. Everything from clamps to patterns to installation, grommets, Roman shade, parts and pieces. So I do fix iron. Can't live without. Back in this corner, hidden, is another sample that I made. It's missing a button, but it's the box pleat top. It's got a shaped tie band, but what I did on the bottom was the godets. A sample of godets. I'd like to share what I've been working on. These are 3 Roman shades on 1 head rail. And over the top will be 1 large cornice box that is arched. So the way I made them is having the weight bar, I turned around so you could see, but the weight bar right now is attached to the bottom fold. But I want to insert it into the bottom flap because I think it will help the shade to hang a little bit smoother and straighter. Over in this corner, behind my walking foot, is all of my welts, my rolled goods. I've tried a lot of different systems for corralling paperwork, and the one I've hit best on is clipboards. So I have clipboards. I have a clipboard for jobs that are my designers, a clipboard for calico corners, a clipboard for estimates, and a clipboard for need to bill. So last year at the Custom Workroom Conference, I was selected to teach 2 classes, and one of those classes was the efficient 1-person workroom. Clutter leads me to Overwhelm, which was a part of the class that I taught, and it's such an important part of working alone, is that there are times when overwhelm hits. Whether it's things don't have a place, things pile up, distractions from the house, phone calls, or just things aren't working out right. So my tips for working alone and dealing with overwhelm, first is to breathe. Go out of the room, take a break. That, just the change of space really helps adjust the brain. And a lot of times we have a lot of self-talk going on. What have I done? I can't do that. What do they want? And to stop that negative self-talk, it really is important to breathe and just change your space. Dealing with overwhelm, if you set your priorities, if you know what job needs to be done first, what step needs to come next, it is very helpful for just calming that overwhelm in your brain, that you can accomplish things in a step-by-step manner. To calm overwhelm, also, one of the most important things I think is to appreciate. It's to love your business. It's to be in the moment, be in the present, stop that self-talk, love what you do. I love what I do, and I want to continue doing this like my mom for another 30 years. It was fun to end that class talking about my mom, who had just passed like 6 weeks before, and be able to share the joy that she had for working alone and working in this business and training her family to continue on in what she started. So I feel like I have just really good, strong blood in me that she's shared her joy and that I get to share my joy with her.